Hello everyone, it's Nady, and today we'll be testing out the new Dragon Beauty Lavender Color Corrector. As you beautiful people know, this is about the products and not the people behind them. Any tiff you may have with them, please cast it away because this is a channel of positive energy. Okay? Thank you. Oh, my delectable deviled eggs, how y'all doing? I hope wherever you're at in the world today, you are having a marvelous day so far. It's a little bit cloudy here, it's gonna storm, yet it's still almost 100 degrees, but I'm not complaining, I love the heat. Daddy likes it warm and daddy likes it sweaty. Anyways, I'm kind of excited to test this out. We did try the orange corrector maybe like a year or so ago, and I feel like I did kind of go in pretty hard, and I honestly looked back at that video and was like, what the fuck? Like, nobody is actually gonna use it the way that I used it. I even tried to cover up the blue tint to my eyebrows and glued them down, but like 9 out of 10 people probably aren't going to do that. But I also feel like when she came out with these, a lot of people didn't know how to properly use them, myself kind of included. Since then, I've studied up on color theory, I've studied up on how to properly apply color corrections, so hopefully today we can go in a little bit better. However, purples are usually for covering up like yellow tones, and I don't really have many yellow tones to my skin. I don't know how it looks on camera, but I'm very kind of neutral and more kind of rosy and jolly like a beardless Santa Claus. But I actually do want to try both of these again today because now color correctors have kind of come into the mainstream a little bit more. I remember years ago, back when dinosaurs roamed the earth, I took a theater and TV makeup class, and fixing a person's tones was very, very common. But now like LA Girl has color correctors, which are very good and very, very cheap. I'm pretty sure even at like Dollar Tree you can find a color correcting palette, so they're very common now. And I will be absolutely brutally honest when it comes to this and tell you right now, these are not worth the price. Even though I haven't even applied this lavender one yet. Oh my god, my throat is so dry. Gotta stop sucking so much dick. Even though I've not applied the lavender one, like I said, you can get even an LA Girl one for extremely cheap. And this was, I think, after shipping, over $30. And if it's the same formula as this orange one, it's basically a liquid Wet n Wild lipstick. Pretty much the same thing. I don't mean to throw shade, like this is an independent company. Nikita started it, I think, by herself. I don't know that she's owned by anyone. Maybe she is. I have no clue if she's just the face of something and somebody else is paying for the products. I don't know, but there is no justifiable reason to pay over $30 for a color corrector other than the fact that it has her name on it. Again, I'm not throwing any shade. It may be amazing, but you can find other options. Even so, I'm still really excited to try this. All right, I'm on the Dragon Beauty website, and this says apply it anywhere you'd like to correct and neutralize. Blend with a flat concealer brush or beauty sponge. Apply foundation and blend with a flat top foundation brush as normal. Apply contour, bake lightly. Oh my god, I feel like a lot of people don't apply that much makeup. They're basically guiding us through a whole fucking face. However, it's actually pretty smart because they say lightly apply the transformation powder under the eyes and in the middle of the forehead with a small pointed powder brush. So they're basically just trying to upsell you on their other products. Very smart. And sadly, I don't know where my transformation duo went. I absolutely hated it for like normal makeup, but I love it when I apply drag because I have cake face anyways, and that just adds on top of the cake. I'm sure some people like it, but on my skin, I think it's just because my under eyes are so dry, it looks terrible. I have been really moisturizing my face lately and I don't feel like it's as bad, so I'd be curious to try it again if I can fucking find it. All I have left is the pressed powder palette, which people did not like this. Like, a lot of people were scared of that. I think it's really pretty, but it does look like somebody's laying in their coffin all glamorous. So if I remember, I will try to use that palette, but I think today I'll correct one side and apply everything like I normally would to the other side without color correction, and we can kind of see if there really is a difference with these. One of the biggest fucking pet peenies that I have is, wait, no, I think it's pet peeves. One of the biggest pet peeves that I have, which I've actually done in the past, is apply way too much color corrector. And I actually still see a lot of beauty gurus doing that today. Like, they slather it on like it's an actual concealer. But the point is to kind of softly neutralize that color so whatever you're putting over it doesn't have to fight so hard to cover it up. Like, if you watch my beginning videos, I would literally apply lipstick under here so heavily because that's what was on trend. Or at least that's what the big ass beauty gurus were doing. But no, with some color correctors, you should actually be able to apply it and not even be able to tell it's there or need to put makeup over that. Like, they make very lightly tinted green things to cover up redness. Purple is for yellow. The oranges are for covering up blues. If you're not exactly sure how to color correct and you're interested, just Google a color wheel, and whatever color you're trying to cover up, you'll need to use the shade directly across from it. For example, let me put up a little color wheel right there. Hopefully you can see all that. If you look across from everything, that's what you're gonna need to apply. And if you look at like the purples, across from that should be the yellows. If you look at the reds, across from that should be the greens. And there's so many options in between. Like, you can use salmon, you can use red, depending on your skin tone. And because I really don't have that much yellow to correct, I am gonna apply the orange underneath my eye, and then I'll put the lavender right underneath it to help brighten things up. But you do have to be careful with this kind of product because it can make somebody look ashy very, very quickly. Any fucking who, here is the packaging. It has changed up a little from the original packaging. We have a smaller logo. Honestly, it looks exactly like a lipstick now. It even has the little end right there. And like I said earlier, these are exactly like a liquid lipstick. They feel so comfortable on the skin. They blend out just like a liquid lipstick. You can use basically a liquid lipstick if you're gonna color correct, but this is very, very comfortable. Here we have it. Actually, I think that might be smaller than the other one. Maybe not. Oh no, I guess it's the same. It's just a little different style packaging. It's a very pretty color. It has the same exact flat doe foot. Very nice. And I'm not trying to take away from this product, but LA Girl does have somewhat similar of a version. This is a little bit more gray, but I know they do have a purple in there somewhere. I don't think I own a liquid lipstick that's in this shade, so I can't really compare that like I did with the orange. But if it's the same formula, you can use it on the lips or on the face. And the more that I look at this looks more like pinky than lavender. Very interesting. Usually the color correctors that I do use actually are on the more lavender side. Although on camera, I guess it's not too different, but in person, this is clearly a baby pink, and this is definitely a perps. Does she have a smell? No, thank you. I love fragrance-free shit. Did this one? I don't think it did. No, oh God, this didn't expire, did it? I've literally only gotten to use it like twice, but makeup does expire. It smells like paint. You know what? We're still gonna use it, cause why the fuck not? This is where everybody screams at their camera and says, because it's fucking expired. Anyways, I'm so sorry for like going on a little rant. Let's go ahead and apply this. Let's see, should we start with this, I guess? Okay, so the first time I went in, I think I went in like an actual fucking concealer, but you literally only need like one little speckle of this. We're gonna start right there. I'm just gonna lightly finger this shit out. I love a good finger sesh, don't we? Okay, so here we are starting to kind of see a little bit of neutralization under there. However, now it's starting to make this part orange, and that's one of the things that I don't love about color correcting, especially because the products that I normally use like on a day-to-day basis are so full coverage that I don't necessarily need a color corrector. But now because this part of my skin is orange in person, now my foundation has to cover that up. But really, it's not that bad. I think I do just want to try one little drop more because I can still see a little bit of purple there. So we'll take that little schmuppet and blend it around right here, and I'm gonna try to focus it right directly underneath my eye so that I'm not turning the rest of my face a different color. And I know their suggestion was to blend this out with a flat or fluffy brush, but I really like applying this with my fingers around this area because it's just so gentle and I love the tapping feeling. Oh, okay, I went in with one last little drop, and this to me is like overkill, but I wanted to kind of like stretch it to the limits. I don't think this is too much, and I think we will be able to cover this up, but we can clearly see that there's a little bit of purple under this side, and there really isn't on this side. It just looks like I got beaten up by a carrot. This is definitely more than I would normally apply because now my foundation does have to fight to cover this up, and it's just like now covering up anything else. Hopefully that makes sense. If it doesn't, I really apologize for doing a shitty job at explaining it. So now let's go in and try this lavender one out, and this guy, I'm gonna put a few drops right under here just to brighten things up, and I don't have a green color corrector that I'm wanting to use today, but normally I would put it right there because this area does have a little bit of redness. But with this color, I think I actually do want to try blending it out with a brush. Ooh, that blends out very, very nicely, and it's starting to dry down quite well too. A lot of people do have yellow patches on their skin, just like how I have red patches, and this is exactly what you'd want to do over those patches. And hopefully you can kind of tell the difference between this side. This is just a little bit brighter. I've seen a lot of YouTubers go in with just this as an underbase highlight. Actually, you know what? Just for shits and giggles, even though I normally wouldn't do this, I am curious to see how it'll kind of brighten things up. So just on this side of my forehead, I'm going to blend this out. And once again, it dries down magnificently. A lot of times when you use color correctors like doing drag, you then have to powder it, but this doesn't feel like it needs powder. Like, it feels pretty stuck in place. It's not coming off on my fingers. Ooh, shit, you know what? I do have a good bit of yellow right on my eyelid, so why don't we try color correcting that too? Normally I wouldn't, but why the fuck not? I really do want to try to put this to the test as best I can, but to be truthful, I feel like the most I'm gonna be able to tell you is whether or not it comes through throughout the day, because I really don't have that much yellow to me. I kind of hope she comes out with a green one, because that I probably would use the shit out of. Even though I have a million green color correctors, I do like this formula, but again, is it worth the price? So far, Alright, so here we go. We can see the difference in the sides. Obviously, I look like a crazy-ass bitch on this side, and this side I still look like a crazy-ass bitch, but with less makeup. So for foundation, I'm going in with this Dior Backstage in the shade 2CR, and I'm gonna apply this very gently all over the face with one of these little poofs. I really don't want to disrupt anything, so I'm just gonna lightly pat it. Hopefully that orange does not just melt off into this foundation. One of the biggest issues that people always tell me about is that the color corrector does melt off, and I've had that happen so many times, and that is never fun because then you just have to keep layering and layering, and suddenly you got an inch of makeup on your face and you look like a goddamn muffin. Nobody likes cake face when they're doing their everyday makeup, or maybe some people do, I don't know, I can't judge. This is actually doing a fantastic job. Like, this side to me does look better. I don't know how it looks on camera. Is there any difference? It just looks almost as though I've already put concealer on, whereas this side I can still see the purple right there. This side you can definitely see like my little teardrop well, but it's not as prominent. But then normally when I go in with my concealer, it does kind of cover up that purple. So let me see if they end up looking the same after I apply this. This is the Dior Forever Skin Corrector in the shade 3C. We'll go in with the normal way too much amount over here. I think on camera it looks like I'm applying way more than I actually am, but it's like so pigmented and spreads out so easily, like this isn't that much. And we'll gently blend so as not to disturb anything. This still does look very, very nice on my skin. A lot of times with color correctors, you're adding another cream product to your routine, and so it just ends up looking really, really thick, but this does not. It looks like airbrush skin, doesn't it? It's really pretty. I'm gonna be real, and I do think that this side with the color corrector does look the slightest bit better, but like not a huge noticeable difference. I do still kind of see a little bit under there too. I'm not sure if it's just the shadow that I'm seeing, but neither side looks terrible, but I do think this side does look better. I'm not really sure that it looks that much different with the lavender corrector though. I don't think it really did much. Was I expecting a huge change? No, not really, but I guess around this area, it does look the slightest bit lighter, but like nothing huge. Like if I walked out in public, I don't think anybody would notice that there's any difference between the two sides. I don't know, maybe it's just me and it could be like a total placebo effect. Both sides look great, shit. So before anything creases, I'm gonna take a little bit of Hourglass translucent powder and place it right under my eyes to really set everything into place. And I was gonna go in with like a full ass look, but I'm scared that the rest of the things that I apply to my face might hide a few things that are trying to peek through, so I think I'm just gonna go in like this without any contour with just a base face on, and we can give this a few hours and we can see if things start melting and if any of the color correctors that I put down start showing up through the foundation and concealer. So I will see you in just a second, my sexy bitches. And we are back. It's actually only been a little bit under an hour, but I don't think I need any more time. I went and took Ron out. He's sleeping here at my feet. Hello, you little nugget. Anyways, I took him out and I was looking around in different lighting, into different mirrors around my house, and it was weird because in different lighting it would look great, and then in other lighting it would look like shit. Like in my normal house warm lights, it looks great. It looks so pretty. Not too different from the side that doesn't have anything, but still it looked nice. It looked a little bit more polished. But then wherever there was like a stronger light, like out in the sun, in front of a window, holy fucking ash, it looks awful. And so I took a look at the box, and this does have titanium dioxide in it, which often causes flashback, and I am starting to see a little bit of the orange peek through, which I think we saw last time, so I'm not terribly surprised. I just kind of hoped that applying a little bit less would have made it dry down and not seep through. So if you're just going to be inside, yeah, it looks great, but if there's going to be any kind of flash, or if you choose not to be a vampire and actually go outside into the sun, then you might not want it. Unless, of course, you do have maybe fairer skin than me, which in that case, it might look bomb on you. But I probably wouldn't use either of these unless you're planning on wearing a lot of makeup, which if you're planning on wearing a lot of makeup, you might not even need the color correction. But I'm finding that unless you do have quite light skin, it might end up showing through. And unless you're wearing like a full ass coverage foundation and concealer and set that shit really, really well, it might kind of want to say hello and make its presence known within maybe like an hour, which is kind of weird because that's not the case with all color correctors. Like you can get some that do stick to your skin and they stay there on the bottom layer of everything and you don't have to cake shit on. So maybe this just isn't the right formula for me, because obviously people do like it if they came out with the second shade. And maybe if you apply a very, very small amount, it would work great. I mean, after all, the goal is just to neutralize and not really to turn your skin orange or lavender. But then again, if you did have like a full glam face of makeup on, I don't think that you'd really be able to tell. I'm positive that this ashiness would probably be dissipated with some bronzer, but then again, you do have flashback. Doesn't really matter how much bronzer you put on. If there's titanium dioxide on your face, you're probably gonna see it. So, final verdict and opinions. Yes, they do color correct. The formula is very, very comfortable on the skin. It's great. It blends out wonderfully. You can use it for multiple things. You can use it as a lipstick. You could probably use it as an eyeshadow base. You could use it as lube if you want. There really are no limits. Well, maybe not a lube. Don't do that. But because the market is so saturated with really good color correctors that are very, very cheap, to me, the price doesn't reflect the quality. They also aren't the most universal, especially because on my skin at least, it's like melting and showing through. And if you have fair skin and you use this, you're gonna be able to see it after a few hours. And if you have deeper skin with this, you probably will be able to see it. And yeah, you probably could powder these after you blend them out so that they're really set into place, but then you're applying more and more and more products and you're really straying away from a natural finish. And that is kind of a hefty price tag for pretty much just a liquid lipstick. Do I think it's good quality? But like here, I don't think it looks that bad. What do you think? Ooh, but like right there, I do see a bit of ashiness. Can you see that? You probably can't. And for 30 bucks, like I could get a really good concealer where I wouldn't even need to color correct. So yes, let me know your thoughts down below. Can you even tell a difference? Can you see any of the orange or the lavender peeking through? Maybe it looks great on camera. That's always something to consider, especially if you're working in like TV or photography. But if you are working with photography, that flashback is a bitch and a half. You'll look like you're at like a 90s wedding. I am kind of crossing my fingers, toes, and testes over them coming out with a green one, but if it starts to show through, this bitch is gonna look like the Wicked Witch of the West. Some Shrek realness up in here. So yes, there we go. Sorry I can't be like more yes or no on this product. It's just kind of meh for me. Oh my gosh, before we go though, I do want to test this on my lips to see if it is as good as the orange formula as a lipstick. Hold on, here we go. Oh. This one tastes like paint too. Oh. All right, see, there we go. That is a natural, everyday kind of lip for me. Okay, but no, like, if you do let it dry down, it is a really nice and comfortable lipstick. Okay, let me wipe this off, because I cannot take myself seriously looking in my monitor. Yeah, fucking right. Like, anybody could ever take me seriously anyways. All right, so there we go. Let me know down in the comments below if you've tried these products. Did you like them? Did you hate them? How did you get them to work? Did they not work for you? I always love interacting in the comments section. Y'all are so wonderful. And don't forget, if you'd like to support me and my channel a little bit more, feel free to join us on Patreon. It's patreon.com/poplux. There you get videos a day early. You get videos just for Patreon. There's lots of little nuggets over there. Plus, best part, it's cheap and fun just like me. But like always, please be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell down below so that you're notified anytime I upload a new video. Don't forget my newest collection of highlighters, including Black Ice, which does change from black to white, is available at thepoplux.com. Also, my latest album, Kiss of Fame, is available everywhere online that music is sold. Thank you so much to everyone who's supporting them. Comment down below, let me know what you thought of this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Snapchat, Instagram, and Twitter at officialnady, and you can follow me online at thepoplux.com. Thank you so much for watching. I love you all, and I will see you again soon. Bye!